You wake before the sun. There is no hospital, no doctor, no heartbeat monitor, only the glow of a dying campfire and the quiet confidence of people who have witnessed this moment many times before. For more than 300,000 years, this was how every human life began. Today, giving birth without modern medicine sounds almost unimaginable. Yet every ancestor in your family tree entered the world without hospitals, ultrasound machines, antibiotics, or neonatal care. Somehow, generation after generation survived long enough to build villages, cities, civilizations, and eventually the modern world. So how did ancient humans raise babies without hospitals? The answer is not luck. It is one of the greatest success stories in human evolution. Human babies are born unusually helpless. Unlike a foal that walks within hours, or a chimpanzee infant that can cling tightly to its mother, a human newborn cannot even support its own head. Anthropologists Karen Rosenberg and Wenda Trevathan have argued that this vulnerability is the result of an evolutionary compromise. Our brains became larger while our ancestors also evolved to walk efficiently on two legs. A wider birth canal would make walking less efficient, while a narrower pelvis makes childbirth more difficult. Evolution settled on a compromise. Babies are born earlier in their development, leaving years of growth to happen outside the womb. That solution created a new problem. Who would care for such a helpless child? Anthropologist Sarah Blaffer-Hrdy proposes that humans solved it through cooperative breeding. In simple terms, mothers were never expected to raise children alone. Grandmothers, fathers, siblings, aunts, uncles, and unrelated members of the group all became caregivers. The child belonged not only to a family, but to an entire community. Imagine discovering you are pregnant 40,000 years ago. No test confirms it. Experienced women notice subtle changes before anyone else. They have seen dozens of pregnancies and recognize shifting appetite, morning sickness, fatigue, and the absence of monthly bleeding. Their knowledge exists entirely in memory, passed from one generation to the next through observation and experience. When labor begins, there is no panic. Someone feeds the fire. Someone brings water. Someone comforts older children. Experienced women remain beside the mother, offering encouragement and practical help. Human birth is unusually difficult because babies rotate while passing through the birth canal. Assistance is not simply cultural tradition. It is likely an evolutionary advantage. After birth, the baby is placed against the mother's chest. Today, we know skin-to-skin contact helps regulate body temperature and breathing. Ancient people did not understand the biology, but they understood the outcome. Babies kept warm survived more often. Breastfeeding usually begins immediately. The first milk colostrum contains antibodies that protect newborns from infection. Ancient parents never saw antibodies under a microscope, yet countless generations learned through experience that early feeding mattered. Modern observations of hunter-gatherers, including work by James Sussman among the Gu Honsi and studies of the Hadza, show that infants nursed frequently rather than on rigid schedules. Frequent nursing naturally spaces pregnancies through lactational amenorrhea, giving mothers more time to recover and allowing each child greater parental investment. Life after birth depended on cooperation. Richard Lee's classic work Among the Kung challenged the old stereotype that hunter-gatherers spent every waking hour searching for food. Child care conversation, storytelling toolmaking, and social life occupied a remarkable amount of time. Children grew up surrounded by adults constantly watching and learning. There were no classrooms. Nature was the classroom. A child learned edible plants while gathering, learned patience by watching hunters, learned generosity by seeing food shared around the fire, learned courage through stories repeated night after night. Play itself became education. Throwing sticks prepared future hunters. Pretending to care for dolls prepared future parents. Running, climbing, balancing, and exploring built the physical skills needed for survival. Archaeology supports this picture of compassion. At Shanidar Cave in Iraq, researchers discovered individuals with severe injuries who survived for years because others cared for them. Communities capable of supporting disabled adults almost certainly invested extraordinary effort into protecting newborns as well. Not every child survived. Disease, injury, starvation, and harsh climates claimed many young lives. Yet focusing only on tragedy hides an equally remarkable truth. Enough children survived to carry humanity across Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia, and eventually the Americas long before agriculture. Then everything changed. Around 12,000 years ago, farming transformed childhood. Permanent settlements allowed larger populations, but they also introduced crowded living conditions, poorer sanitation, and new infectious diseases. Archaeological evidence shows that many early farmers were shorter and less healthy than the hunter-gatherers who came before them. Progress, it turns out, came with trade-offs. Modern medicine revolutionized childbirth through antiseptics, antibiotics, cesarean sections, vaccines, and neonatal care. Millions of lives have been saved, yet the deepest lessons remain ancient. Babies still need warmth. Parents still need support. Grandparents still pass down wisdom. Children still learn by watching others. Communities still shape healthy lives. The next time you see a newborn wrapped in a blanket inside a modern hospital, remember the invisible chain connecting that child to hundreds of thousands of years of human history. Every generation faced uncertainty. Every generation learned a little more. Every generation passed that knowledge forward without books, universities, or laboratories. You began this journey beside a prehistoric campfire. You end it in a modern hospital. The surroundings could not be more different. But the oldest truth of parenting has never changed. Humanity did not survive because parents had perfect knowledge. Humanity survived because people raised children together.